Spoilers! This is Sophie Aldred with The Legend of the Traveling TARDIS.
Hello, fellow Whovians. Welcome to the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. I am your host, Paparazzo Dave Chapman. Welcome. We've got another great show for you today. Things are glitching on in the background of some people. That's okay. We've got this covered. So yes, we are doing today The Impossible Planet, as pointed out by the artful Roger. Yes, an episode about a planet near a black hole. What could possibly go wrong? Maybe not all the things you think. But this show, anything can go wrong. So, first up, let's take a look at who we've got with us today, starting with the one and only Gadget Pendragon.
Hi,
Hey,
guys.
Gadget, how you doing?
Hanging in there. wondering about Comic-Con because I just got a message from someone saying they wanted to know if there was going to be a TARDIS there to stand and pose with, and I messaged them and I said, I don't think so, but I will have Squishy with me, so everyone is wanting to see Squishy. They're all hoping to see him and everything and stuff, so I guess a lot of people want to be companions.
There you go. The Legend of the Squishy TARDIS.
Yep, right behind me over there.
Yay! And of course, we've also got Michelle from the TARDIS Archives. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Welcome me back.
Yay! Yes, you missed last week. We missed you.
Yes, work on the way.
Yeah, it happens. It happens. We've only got so many hours in a day and so many days in the week. We don't actually have a TARDIS with which we can, do things. Except maybe Tom. Tom might have one. Tom's got, what is Tom?
Oh, no.
Tom's got a book.
No, he didn't.
What's that, Tom?
Just reading Gadget's book.
Oh, Gadget book. Gadget, you have books?
Yeah, I have two. I have for all the kids and kids at heart as adults, the Dungeons and Dragons guide and everything and stuff. Especially if you have learning disabilities, this is a very good book. If you're just starting out or want to learn how to be a junior dungeon master, a dungeon master, it's the most simplest thing. It's easy to understand. There's even inside little pamphlets of how to basically score, how to some dice in here and everything. Let's see if I can show you that one, like how to make the dice. There's a lot of good stuff in here for all those beginners out there or adults and everybody who can't play very well but need a way to play and maybe fake it and everything. But like what Tom has, it's Copley and Newcastle Journey and Beyond. It was about my adventures in the UK when I went to see the Doctor Who experience, when technically thought I had found love and everything and stuff, but you would never know until you know the ending on it and everything and stuff. But it was a trip that was very interesting, but my pride and joy is this one because I want to see kids smile. I want kids to participate, even though if they have a disability. I don't want anybody left out. So this is a good book for those. And like I said, beginners, because I got everything self-explanatory in here, everything, instructions, you name it, and a few errors being dyslexic myself.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
Tom's got another book. Hey, Tom. Other than reading some really cool books, what you doing?
Setting up for tomorrow's, because I'm not opening anything on tonight's show, but tomorrow I'm going to do a video on this live show on my box opening. Vegas has been canceled until Velvet Chains decides to kidnap me, the band, and bring me to Vegas. So just saying that out there to, if perchance one of them's watching, which I'm going to share this on Instagram and so I say, hey, boss, you want to kidnap me? Then that'd be great.
Excellent. And of
I don't know how you can just stay away for that, but
the last but least, what's oh god. Oh god. Oh god.
I can't do it. You can't do it.
Can't do it. Oh gosh, what the hell is that?
I wasn't expecting you to do it live, so I figured just bring that up.
Thank you for showing my Asian side of me. Thank you very much.
No problem.
I just saw Tom and he was sitting with a book. And I was like, is he on the toilet now? I'm like, what are you doing here? Freaking nature. All righty. Well, welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us tonight. And we got some announcements to make. A few nice little announcements we're going. Some birthdays to go over, and we're going to be reviewing The Impossible Planet tonight. And I'm curious of what everybody's numbers were because I'm curious about mine. Don't forget this Friday, 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, will be Simon's sci-fi blog. He has a new episode coming out over here, and it's only exclusively here on the YouTube channel. So check it out, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Friday. And that's it.
Excellent. So since I got you, here, and everyone's curious about your number, what's your number, Kristen?
This was rather hard to do because Can I explain the rating on this? Because to me, it's not even fair.
Sure,
Okay.
sure.
It's like rating a cake, and I present to you two separate dishes. One is the cake itself. The other dish has icing on it. And I say, here, rate my cake. And you're like, okay. So I would, unless the two are together, I'm really doing a disservice. So 9.5.
Wow.
But when that cake comes together, that number goes up. That's all I'm saying, right?
Okay.
And that will probably, of course, the Candyman cake. Nice.
Okay.
Oh yeah, it just made me hungry too. But
Yeah.
9.5, and it's not because I wanted to go last. It's I'll explain everything that I enjoyed about this episode. There are a few hiccups, but
Always.
oh,
Tom, how about you? What do you give this sucker?
Well, he beat me. I went with 9.
9.
I'll explain my number when it comes up.
Yeah, you're sure you don't want to make it like a 9.51?
No, I'll explain my 9 very
Okay, that's fair.
easily.
How about you, Gadget? What do you say?
I was gonna say an 8.
Okay, that is reasonable.
And because of how you need the other part.
or maybe I just don't want to go last. That's why I have it.
That's also possible. So Michelle,
I'm going a 9 with this one too.
you went with 9 as well. Fancy.
That's
We
how
got
low
some
score
good
goes.
high ratings on this one. And where you think it wouldn't go up, it would potentially go up even for Christian. Fabulous. Maybe we should start with the highest one.
I'm gonna kill you.
Hilarious.
So
It doesn't matter to me. I'm just I don't want to.
No, I have high ratings,
We'll
so
go
it's
traditional, and
about
we'll
this
let
for a while.
Gadget go first.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Point.
Gadget, you gave this an 8. What missed for you? Why the comparison?
Well, I had to rewatch it because when I first saw it on a certain channel with ears, they reversed the episodes. So I was like, okay, this don't make sense and everything. So when I rewatched it now, I'm going through everything. You could tell it was a little dated and everything. It was a little and everything stuff because you do need both parts together to give it a really good rating because it is good as one unit and everything. But it was some scenes I felt were very predictable, like here's Johnny, here's this. The number sequence thing was a given. That one, you saw it going right in and everything. But I think I might have been spoiled because I had part 2 first before I saw part 1 and everything. But something always threw me off with the numbers of all the doors and everything, certain things, like the symbols. Why can't the TARDIS translate it? How much older is that? Because I thought the Time Lords were infinite and older and everything. So is it telling us there's even a higher race of time, like more than the Time Lords that were controlling things? And to do what they did, because I don't want to give away part 2, you know what I mean? It's like, because how did they sustain the black hole, but yet did not sustain, like everything that got away from the planet was able to be absorbed into it and everything. But when you see part 2, then it explains the black hole and everything. It's hard to give a rating higher because you can't spoil part 2 and everything. But it just always felt predictable and a little sad though, because it's almost like you're hearing he's risen, but he's awake and everything. So I don't know how that would sit well with certain sects and certain ordains and everything and stuff, because to me it was almost like, is this being worshipped, or is it showing another side to something, or the reason why the things happened the way it did? Because you don't really know until you see part 2. So I was a little with that and everything. But the doctor to get a job, that was funny. And a mortgage.
And a mortgage, yes.
We're gonna have to get a mortgage.
That's in the second part, though, isn't it?
No,
No, this is part.
That
Yeah.
is the first one. I also have just been watching both, and I just kind of let it run because why wouldn't I? Oh Lord, Christian, that's for you.
Rating this episode like Rating this episode is like rating a Filipino super sweet. It's like lumpia without the sauce.
Without the
That's all
lump.
I'm saying. Yum yum.
Lumpia without the lumps.
Without the lumps. Without the sweet and sour sauce.
No, this is going to be a rough episode. We hummed and hawed whether we would do this as a 2-part, 2 different episodes, 2 different ratings, or if we were going to lump them all together.
Yeah.
And ultimately, I think both episodes can be rated separately, although
They can. It's like I said,
the argument can be made for either
an
way.
icing thing. You're just getting you're not getting the whole presence if the two of them aren't together. But I'm fine.
So we've got Tom and Michelle both at a 9. I'm like, do I have a die? Oddly enough, I'm not. So notice this is not my usual background. I'm still in Edmonton. I was at the Edmonton Expo this past weekend. I was working with Megan Shipman of Spy Family, so I got the Spy Family card game autographed by everybody. So that was awesome. But as a result, I don't actually have any dice. I mean, I do, but they're over there. I don't have it immediately within reach as I normally do. So I think I'm just going to randomly decide the next person will be Tom.
He really went to the toilet.
And by Tom, I mean Michelle.
Took his book with him.
Unless he hid.
He did hide.
Yeah, well. Because
And Tom-
he wanted to hide.
No,
Tom-
put him back. Put him
Tom
back.
Lears
Put him
again.
back. Just for that. Put him back. You. Unbelievable.
He's like, I'm not getting.
What the
I need a
hell,
drink.
Tom?
I don't want to get a mortgage.
The rapture has started.
Yeah.
Play Blondie. Rapture. Okay. There, if you're going to read that, that's it. My rating of 9, that's
Want to try that again?
666. You add the 6s together, equals 18. You add the 1 and 8 together, that equals 9. That's how I got 9. Math.
Asian.
Chop liver. Okay. So,
Why, Tom? Why did you rate it a 9?
because there's always something at 10. So I had to I love this, but we had to don't have those high standards with everything. Let's see. But still, only because, 6 plus 6 plus 6, 18 plus 1. That's it. That's 42. That's the answer to life and everything. So trapped on the space station without the TARDIS, with creatures that look to destroy, a crew member possessed by the devil. I can't remember anything they say.
Are you reading the description? Are you reading
This is my
Wikipedia?
summary
What's
that
going
I
on?
took from here. There's no
Okay.
description. Girl goes to Oz with crewmates dying, claustrophobia setting in. It's a true horror story. The Doctor and Rose settling in, pondering what's next with their lives, only to deal with people dying. Makes for a fun romp around to escape the mind control ood from killing them. The
Seriously,
ood
Tom, you're
are-
not selling me on this.
Well, that's why there's other people rating. The ood are odd looking, scary monsters that are redeemed in a future story. We know about that. Toby being the victim of the beast is quite terrifying. The space station falling towards the black hole is quite scary. The essentially 45 minutes of prologue exposition was not as boring as it is necessary. So 9. I'm playing the Beatles. 9. There's a true. That was a nice little horror story. It was different from the Cybermen with their kind of thing.
That just looks like
okay.
the prawn right there.
It is.
I'm behind you. Don't turn around. I'm going to get you. It's okay. Whatever line is from the other stories, which I can't think right now, is like, would you like to play a game? No, was it? Crime. I don't know. We all know the horror stories. So it's a nice little horror story. A space station outside of a black hole. Kind of Deep Space Nine-ish routine in my mind. Black Hole, the old Disney movie with Anthony Perkins, the big red robot, and Vincent. So I gave a vibe there. Of course, the alien situation. Oh.
Maximilian.
Maximilian, thank you. Maximilian, Vincent, old Bob. So I had that feel of,
I love it.
why do you want to be? Why are you in a space station outside of a black hole in the first place? Why are our astronauts still trapped on the space station up above? Well, the one got through, but the other one is still up there. For God's sakes, what and how can that? Where's Earth? Where's I think it was in part 2. It said that. Where's their backup? Why aren't they being helped? And all of a sudden, as the Doctor and Rose come along, here comes the devil. Here comes the devil. Here comes the devil. I don't remember what song that was from either. It's like, well, the Ood are,
Help.
Thank you. Still choking from earlier, which was off screen.
Very Ood.
It was a nice little horror story. It wasn't a scary little thing. What's going to happen next? Oh, it's a 2-parter. To be continued. And you find out all these things happening, and unlike what happened to Gadget when she saw part 2. Thanks, Disney. Spoiling everything for her. Like you do everything else. The introduction of a new creature, the Ood, stuck there. What happens next? The Doctor without his TARDIS. What's going to happen? Something scary is coming. Oh, the voice is there. I'm going to get you. I'm going to possess Toby. And freaks out, and everyone's dying. Saying, okay, 45 minutes of exposition. So it was nice.
Yeah. Endor 42 in one scene.
Yes.
Yeah. It was funny that the universe would be right there.
I want a Planet of the Ood. I want Planet of the Apes, but with the Ood talking and the humans having the balls.
Ooh.
Well, they
we do, but we don't carry them around from our mouth.
Some politicians do, but that's about it.
Hey now.
Ah! I'm glad I made those copies.
Oh my God.
Oh,
I had it on my notes to do it, and then 2 weeks later I did.
And the show has hit a new low. Thank you. Everybody just read a book now. Everybody just read books.
That was great.
That's
Yes,
what we
thank
come
you.
down
Thank
to.
you.
Time to hold my balls.
So before we go to Michelle's rating, what I think we're going to do is why don't we quickly go through the audience as we have it.
Absolutely.
See what some of those ratings are, and then we can do a quick commercial break, and we can come back to see what Michelle says.
And if you haven't put up your ratings, go ahead and do so now. We're looking for those of you who may be first time watching this show. This is how we separate it: 10 being best, 1 being awful, and you get to pick the numbers in between. And God knows we've been doing this for so long that we just split up TARDISes like crazy. Tell us what you think and why. Go ahead and do that in the chats right now, and we'll be showing your ratings out there. We're going to start with Jim. I give it a 9.9 rating. It's got everything in it: the Doctor, the Devil, Rose, and the impossible planet circling a black hole. Anthony Perkins.
You got the Artful Roger.
Now I'm thinking of that movie. What was it? Was it the In-Law Meet the Fockers or whatever? And the kid says a hole. Oh. But he doesn't say it out loud. He's like, cool. I'm glad the kids are watching on this. Anyway, The Artful Roger, 9.95, which is almost a 10. Seeing the ood in this episode was a nice touch.
Touch. Don't touch.
True. Reach out and touch someone.
Yes. And
The
Nico
ball.
back.
As long as it's essential.
Yeah.
As long as I'm at balls. Anyway, Nico back. I give it a 9 as well. Possessed ood and a mystery the doctor cannot figure out. That's true. That's absolutely true on that.
Mm-hmm.
So those are ratings. And make sure if you want to join in, do so. Do you want to take the question from Roger, or do you want to wait until
Sure. Short version. So, question: how are we going to rate Fear Her, the 11th episode of Series 2? BBC decided to redub Hugh Edwards for iPlayer. Probably, it is such a small thing that it's fine. The episode still exists as far as on everywhere else, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So what we will probably do is do it as normal. If it's still off of iPlayer, well, then Candyman won't join us, or Candyman will watch it on a DVD, whatever he does or doesn't do. We'll see. Honestly, we probably won't. It probably won't even come up. If it does, it does, but it probably won't unless it's from the audience, because it's really not that big of a factor to the story. So yeah, that's the short answer. Is when we get to it, probably won't worry about it too hard. But with that question out of the way and some ratings in, if you have not given your ratings, please put those in the comments while we go to a commercial break, pay some bills. So please sit back, relax, and stay here, become part of the legend.
Question before we do that, Dave, we had some issues with the video earlier. Is that working now? Or
as far as I know.
Okay. Well, when we return.
Are you a movie nerd? Do you collect VHS, DVDs, CDs, records, and so much more? Are you looking for clothing from 1940s to 2000s? Do you need cosplay or themed outfits? Come to Ducky's Vintage. We have it all for all budgets, located at the Oviedo Mall right off of the 417. Ducky's Vintage for those born in the wrong decade.
Hey everybody, welcome back to an all-new X's for Show, your premiere show for streaming media content.
A great creative team and a great concept that is years in the making.
That's certainly one of the interesting things about this as a program.
Hot names, even hotter ideas.
The silliest version of every single one.
Hot names, even hotter ideas.
Everybody is so even-keeled. That is a nonsense thing that you just said.
I'm not wrong. I've seen all the films.
I get what you're saying. I hate it.
It's really ugly to call that a genius on air.
Nobody screams at each other and goes,
I will fight you! Wow, what a great moment for our show.
Truly, we did it.
This would be a great jumping on point for you.
2,000 episodes in.
Every weekend and Wednesdays.
Shows no signs of stopping.
You can check the show out at X's for Show.
Come on. I mean, we've got a show, baby. Just, you gotta trust us. It's gonna be good.
We are a touring acoustic duo crashing kitchens around the country. We go from house to house every Friday night, and we create music, we create food, a good time, we stream it live, and we do it for free. So now we're just really kind of like trying to develop it and build a community group that people believe in, then they'll help us. So we played from our rehearsal room, we played from the bathroom, thankfully that didn't catch on.
I probably played guitar in my room, not for anyone, in front of anyone, nobody heard, for probably about 10 years.
And then one Friday night, we played from the kitchen. It's the main place people want to be. It's where the food is, it's where the drink is, it's where the best lighting is. You can go to any party and I guarantee you, the kitchen is going to be popping.
Our ultimate goal, I think, would be to crash kitchens every Friday all around the world.
I'm Eric Roberts, and this is a legend of the Traveling TARDIS.
You felt that, didn't you? I did too! That time of year again. Spooky season is upon us. Oh, I love this season. Ghost stories, pumpkin picking, apple bobbing, trick-or-treating. Hopefully we don't deal with any ravages this year. Right, first things first. Let's get you decorated, old girl. Brilliant as ever. I'm the Doctor, and you are watching The Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. Happy spooky season.
Welcome back to The Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. My name is Christian Basil, showrunner. We've got the host, Dave Chapman Paparazzo from TheRatHole.ca, Gadget Pen Dragging Michelle, and as well as the hashtag guru himself, Tom Kosak. Today we're reviewing Doctor Who's The Impossible Planet. Also, we want to give out a shout some birthdays. Billie Piper celebrated her birthday just recently, as well as our good friend, Ashley Eckstein. And if you haven't checked her out, we've actually got an episode where we interviewed Ashley. The link is should be in the description. If not, you can just search on the YouTube channel and just look up when we was still at Wizard World. You can check out Ashley Eckstein's interview with us. Also, we want to thank everybody for getting us our goals. 1 million views. That's incredible. And now 32,600. So, damn. Damn. Just a lot of you. Damn good.
Shy of 666, huh?
Exactly. And it's, yeah, let's get it from 32,666. Yeah, let's just freak out, everybody. And also, starting this October 1st is the 31 Days of Halloween on the Traveling TARDIS. You can check it out on our YouTube channel, on our Facebook page. But if you're not waiting for Halloween, it's already started here because we took the Traveling TARDIS over to Halloween Horror Nights at Universal Orlando. You can check out all the pictures and videos that are going up on a daily basis practically. And we just had an awesome time out there. But again, the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS from October 1st to the 31st, we will be converting our little social media platforms into very scary pictures that we've got out there and videos just for fun for those who celebrate. Mark, I think you told us in the last time, but Mark, I want you to do me a favor. Between 1 and 10, tell us how popular Halloween is in the UK, and anybody and any of our friends who may be out there, please, on a scale of 1 to 10, what you think is the popularity of Halloween in the UK and out there. But yeah, I really had a good time, and hopefully we'll be taking the TARDIS into other locations, and hopefully Dalek Hal will be joining us. So there you go, Dave.
Woo! Just as an extra, I've got something going on all October as well.
Go ahead.
If you remember back a couple months ago, when I came back from a convention, I brought a bunch of advent calendars back. Adventure calendars, including a Halloween one.
Oh, nice.
So those will be going up. I'll be opening a door every day on YouTube. So you can check that out over on my channel, youtube.com/TheRatHole, DOTCA. The first episode is edited off of this very program because, again, I previewed it. I went and I opened box number 1, door number 1, here live on The Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. And the rest I will have done not at The Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. I will definitely, and I'll probably bring them into the show the couple of days that land on the Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
I think I might, at least certainly the first one, I might just have to bring those over. Let y'all see a little bit, and that little taste. And I may or may not have more such content happening in, the regular adventure calendar season.
But you have to stay tuned to find out.
Exactly. So, what else do we have? Any other? Oh, we got a 6.5. Oh, for Halloween.
Well, yeah, that's where Mark UK says it's getting there. I wouldn't want to see it at 10. Definitely want to see it at 10 out there.
We'll see.
Halloween is the thing now in the Philippine Islands these days. There we go.
That's cool. I need it. Well, I don't know if I want to go home for my ancestral home for the Philippines.
Yeah.
Just to go for Halloween. But it sounds cool. I tell you what, Roger, give us some pictures on that. I want to see.
That'd be fun. That'd be fun. So Michelle, You also gave like the disappearing Tom. You also gave it a 9.
Yes, I did. And also, one last shameless plug. On next Monday, my book Haunted Fredericksburg comes out. If you want to get more ghost stories, there you go.
I charge people for this nonsense.
Hey, you invited me on this thing, baby.
That's true. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
Plug
so
away.
yes, 9. I think Doctor Who does horror very well throughout his classic and modern era. That's something I think that it should do more of. I like the idea that we're on a spaceship or station, that the TARDIS has disappeared. I always love it when the TARDIS disappears and goes AWOL, and how the Doctor's going to figure out how to get out of that situation without his baby. So I love the mystery of the spaceship. I love the archaeology aspect of it, that this is a lost civilization that they are trying to figure out. I think that's an underutilized plot point in sci-fi. The Ood were creepy, but sweet at the same time. There's very sympathetic but creepy at the same point. And I always enjoy when Doctor Who gets back to his roots and has a good two-parter. I think it does the best when it's in a two-parter, because it allows the story to grow and breathe in New Who, which is something that they struggle with pacing. They rush the finale too quickly sometimes in New Who. So I prefer it when it goes back to those classic roots to be a multi-part episode. For the part, one reason I didn't give it full 10 again, Kaiser van der Zandt is my favorite, and so very few can get up to that level. But also, I'm old-fashioned. I don't like the Rose and Doctor relationship as the romance, and you're definitely starting to see it in this episode where she is falling in love with the Doctor. I'm old school. I believe in no hanky-panky in the TARDIS, so any of that I will always have to knock it down. Another thing I love, you really start seeing the composer. Oh, what's his name? Oh, on top of my head, you really start to see his work becoming the bombastic, the elegant that we associate with New Who. He's really starting
Murray Gold.
Yes, Murray Gold. Jesus.
Yeah.
He's really starting to get the gravitas and the breadth that we are familiar with him in the New Who era, especially up into the Anna Capaldi's run. The soundtrack really elevates the episode. So again, it's a really fun episode. I enjoy the horror aspect of it, especially as we're getting into spooky season. So yeah, it was an all around really good episode.
Perfect. Well, then that means
I seriously need a haircut.
Do you?
I don't know what's going on back here. It's getting poofy.
Yeah. It must be that Florida humidity.
Yes.
I heard Jim Cantor's in Florida now, so you can all panic.
Oh, he should just move down here. Jesus. Yeah, it's everybody wants to just like put up a brick
wall. Getting the hurricane.
Well, I love in Florida, you measure is like, okay, so here, yeah, okay, where should we start putting up our barricades?
You don't put up barricades. They just go to the local liquor bar, grab some gas, and have a party. You see, there's a meme out there, or I should say a GIF or GIF or whatever you call it up there. There's a guy that's topless out there in the middle of the road with an American flag. That's Florida, man. That's our.
I love the people who are now starting to like troll behind. My favorite was the one when they had the hurricane in New Orleans and they're pretending that the wind was really strong, and the guy comes behind him and he starts doing cartwheels.
Mm-hmm. Well, when the news kind of bends things out there. What was it? I remember there was a woman in a canoe. I forgot it. And you can actually find this on YouTube. A woman in a canoe who was just rowing out over there. And next thing you know, the cameraman didn't think about it, but there's two guys walking.
Yeah, The last hurricane in New Orleans is when I think the Weather Channel jumped the shark, because the people of New Orleans was trolling the heck out of them. I mean, one time one of the guys is pretending that he's being blown over by a wind, and you next see this dude walking by all slow, stuck in a hurricane.
Yeah,
I saw that. That was hilarious.
What was the episode we did during the hurricane? Remember that one, Christian? There was one.
I have no idea.
Yeah,
That was in
you
last
were
year?
on, Christian, and I joined you.
Isn't there always a hurricane?
Yeah. And I was like checking in at the same time because I couldn't get the camera to work.
Otherwise known as there's always a hurricane in Florida.
Yeah.
But this one was weird. I was looking like, is it following? What's it following? Because that would have been funny on live if the wind started blowing and we see the
It's drunk. The damn thing's drunk. What
tornadoes here
in Canada?
Yep. Well, at least in Alberta.
How bad are they? Are they kind of
usually not that bad, but I think 3 of the 5 biggest tornadoes in Canadian history have all been in Alberta.
Oh wow!
Roger, are you offering?
The last one, which was something like a 4.5, so big, thankfully hit down out in the prairies, not near a town, and didn't suck up anything of human.
Anything of worth, anything of value.
Well, I mean, a cow has value,
Yeah,
We have good steak here.
True. Yeah.
Like, so
it's outrunning her.
Megan Tippins from Texas. She was raving about our steak. We have good steak. That's worth something. You don't want to blow that away.
You can never underestimate a good steak.
Exactly. But that being said, yeah, they are not usually that bad, but they certainly can be, because there's not that much around here. Like, there's nothing to stop it. There's nothing weather-wise, right? We got the mountains off to one side and then flat for half a continent.
Oh, so yeah, it just says come on in.
Yeah. But that being said, we were getting back to the hippie here, and you're 9.5 rate.
Okay.
Peace, man, love.
There, we'll do that because now that he's gone, we can't have that. No. You two will say no to us, and we will not do that.
I didn't put it all the way up, you fool. I could be doing this all day.
All right.
Bird to go back
You
for
can
us.
tell your number.
We need a real flying bird to go back.
Hearing some of the challenges about the comments out here were really hard. Yeah, I put it 99.99999, and I think, I don't want to say it in this regard, but I think it's the only fair way of saying it. I think this is one of the perfect episodes ever. And like I said, it's hard to, the way we do the rating system between things, it's it's a cake and it's the frosting on either side, but when they're together, it's it's really magical to watch out there. You got these people, you got the TARDIS landing. Don't think about it. They basically come out of the cupboard, and the first thing they see is something that can't be translated. Okay, and they're kind of dropping hints that this is not your typical episode out there. And we got our monsters, we got the Ood, but really what really got me, and is like, what I think, honestly, this is one of the scariest episodes I've ever seen, especially when Toby has to deal with Satan. That scene where he's sitting there in, I guess it's like a science room or whatever. He's sitting there with the light up mirror, and you keep it, don't turn around. And I'm like, that's freaking me the hell out. The voice, Toby being told, don't turn around or you die. I mean, those things were really scaring the hell out of me. And one of the great things about this episode was the cast all around. I mean, you really were concerned about everybody who was there in future Torchwood. Now we found out later. Everybody had a bit, everybody was a bit of the concern. I don't have her picture. I don't know why it didn't come through. But Scooty, the worst tragedy that I could think of, they really played that out there, because she was only 20. And she saw Toby outside, and he was doing something with his hands, and eventually he would break open the glass that would suck out Scooty into the darkness, and then all of a sudden you see the Doctor and they're looking for Scooty. They enter the room, and surely enough, the Doctor finds her out floating, going towards the black hole, and that really kicks you. That kind of brings, I wouldn't say reality, but it hits home to something like, the world of the Doctor is really dangerous. And, Scooty was only 20. What, Rose was 18? Is 18 or something like that? And I understand what you're saying, Michelle. We don't like the romance thing that much. I do think it plays off because the Doctor cannot fall in love. The Doctor can get really close, but he can't end up with somebody. And I think that was very important, that Rose was trying to reach out, but the Doctor was like, whatever, we got to get a mortgage. And then he, at the end of that, it's kind of like, okay, well, maybe not at the very end. And when we came to the entrance of the whole episode, we were already hitting the ground running when the Ooter coming up. We have to eat. We have to eat. Oh, we have to feed. We have to feed. We have to feed. And then all of a sudden the credits come on. We go, we have to feed you. So there were some really just like moments where it would, it kind of slowed down at times, but it wasn't bad enough to where, you've seen like current Doctor Who stuff. And when they get to the slow points, especially when it came to Chris Chibnall's era, they kind of pushed it into the drama, where this one still held my attention. And when things were going haywire, you wanted to know what was happening at the next moment. You wanted to know what was happening to that character. They were so important and to the story. And I think, who's the guy that wrote this? Jeez, I'm trying. Hang on a second. It was me. Matt Jones, who wrote the story. I'm going to say this on to you, Tom. It challenged religion and it didn't.
Yeah.
And I thought it was so well balanced. It didn't say things were real or you had to go with it, like today's Doctor Who, where the moral seems to be so obvious, it just bangs you over the head. This one questioned religion. And I think it did it in a way that it entered the Doctor's world and didn't quite say, you need to pay attention to this. It kind of, especially now that the devil, the Doctor's seen on this particular planet, the devil, and how he manages and handles it. And plus, he can't understand it. This is something beyond him. This is something that is outside of his time. The writing they couldn't translate. So I think maybe RTD, if I'm not mistaken, Dave, RTD's kind of going back to this with the gods and all that.
Yeah, to a certain extent. I think there's a good chance that, the Beast may show back up or reconnect to the story. Whether that's intentional or not, who knows?
Well, I'm
legitimately surprised that the Beast was not mentioned as part of the Pantheon, but also not, because it is a little different. So I'm excited for the next season to see where they do go with that, and if they reference this. Of course, there was a lot of references to this episode and the next episodes with the Beast and Sutek, because it is, of course, the same voice actor.
Oh, I did not know
that. Yeah. So this is the original Sutek, the new Sutek, and the Beast. It's all the same person. And when you listen to Sutek talk, you can hear it. Once you realize it's the same person, you can't unhear it, because he has a very good but very distinctive voice. It's like you can't not know it's
schizophrenic
Angel Jones.
Well, to me, I loved it that it was kept oblivious.
Mm-hmm.
We still don't really know everything, and that's what I love about sci-fi, where it challenges your psyche, it challenges your thinking process, but I'm not going to tell you how to think. I just want to open the doors to show you what I'm thinking, and I'm going to wrap it around in a great story. And both Satan's Pit and the Impossible Planet really did that. It had great characterization. It scared the bejeebies out of me at times. The death of Scooty and then seeing her body floating out in mid, those things really were incredible. I mean, like, this is an episode I'll watch all the time when they say, what's in your top 10. I think these two will always be sitting somewhere in the top 10 of my favorite Doctor Who episodes of all time for right now, just because it was just so brilliantly done. And that's my opinion on that.
Yeah. And it occurs to me that Mama Sunday did actually, when Sutek was coming out
nice
into the real world, said the Beast. Like, she thought it was the Beast. So there was at least a reference to him before it was revealed as Sutek. Spoilers. But yes, if you want some good tasting lamb, Australia is some of the best I've heard. Yeah, no,
you guys are making me hungry. It's almost dinner
lamb
time.
Only tastes good if you
eat an apple.
Pineapple.
It's a big, funny
joke
giant.
lied.
6.66 would have been a great episode.
Yep. It's true.
That's what you do. Do ratings between 1 and 5, and 6.66 would have worked out there.
There you go.
That's next week's episode.
Roger says the Doctor has 2 hearts to fall in love with someone or more. That's the thing. I think he is the eternal space god. He cannot, or in one particular case, she cannot settle down. It's just not there, because the Doctor walks in infinity, lives forever, ever-changing faces, and no mortal person, for a better term, can ride with that.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the closest, I think, was Sarah Jane and Romana, but that's
What about River?
Well, it's Rivers' wife.
Yeah.
But even then, their times were not like, she was at the Storm Cage doing her time. And the only time that he really had it was one night in Beryllium.
Yeah, and he's basically a widower now because she's gone.
But he still leaves.
One night, 24 years. Yeah.
Yeah, but still, he had to deal with the loss of maybe a second family.
Yeah.
And we're still looking for his daughter.
So, for me,
Uter.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm going to give it an 8.5, which is where my brain went. I started kind of at an 8.5, and I was leaning maybe it is worth a 9. But I think what I've settled on, and it's similar to you, Christian, in that I'm giving it an 8.5. I'll give Satan's Pit an 8.5, and combined I would give them a 9.
Okay.
Because it is definitely better as a whole, but both parts are still really good.
Yeah.
I love the Ood. This was fun. There's so much depth to within that concept of the Ood. Also from the Edmonton Expo, my friend Barbie picked up her Series 6 can cosplay cards with her Ood costume.
So good.
These are oddly enough, for all of the cosplay. Come on, focus.
Pivot.
There we go. All of the fun cosplay photography I've done over the years, I've never had any of my photos used for these cards, which kind of surprises and disappoints me. There weren't to Series 6 of these, but yeah. So she was just to add the extra fun of the Ood to my weekend. But yeah, just the concept of the Ood as cattle, as there's definitely a house elf reference in there, a slave race. Well, there's so many facets of morality with that as a race and as a concept that I think it was really kind of neat. I did love the IKEA cheap shot. About this is like it's like a flat packed gel.
Yeah, I do remember.
But
that.
easier. I'm honestly kind of half surprised that he didn't make a shot about the indecipherable language being the instructions to put everything together, because that would have made sense just as a gag. The characters are all, again, there's nothing shocking or surprising. You kind of know where this is going to go almost immediately. oh, they're on a space station, something's going wrong. All right, like there's nothing groundbreaking in the plot of this. But that's also, there's a reason why it's such a common plot, because it can be done very, very well, and they did do it very, very well. All the characters had their very distinct personalities, although somewhat stereotypical. But again, there's a reason for that. The sets, they did a wonderful job with making it feel like it's a big space with it being small spaces, which you don't get a lot of. That is that is both a feature and a bug of the budget at the time. But they did a really good job making that. Rose was real brave when they were going away in the rocket away from the planet. She had the rocket ship turned back towards the black hole, unfastened the seatbelt of Toby's seat and belt, and blew out. Well, that's spoilers for next week, folks. Thanks, Jim.
How's it end?
How's it end?
How's it end?
Get that off there.
Sorry, finish that. Might as well finish that spoiler.
Yeah, exactly. There we go. Thanks, Jim.
Well, one of the things I appreciated there, Dave, was that the cliffhanger, I think, is one of the best cliffhangers. You've seen cliffhangers from Doctor Who, but this one really upped the ante because everybody was all dispersed everywhere in the ship.
Yeah,
everybody was dealing like there was one sect who had to deal with the Yudes trying to kill them. They had one sect of I can't think of her name, but the Doctor and the scientist where the thing is opening, and you had, I mean, there were just so many things going on, and the captain is in his ship of a planet that's now losing gravity. I mean, it's just like it was like, okay, how much more crap can we throw on these people to survive? You know, but that, I think, was a good cliffhanger because I don't want to go too much into it when we go into the Satan's Pit whenever we review it. But it was wrapped up nicely.
Yes, it was,
in my opinion, on that.
And that's kind of why I was saying it works well as both a 1-part and a 2-part. You can have a self-contained episode that ends on a cliffhanger.
Right.
In a way, like you can have, here's more or less, you know, I'm satisfied with this episode, but I want more. Right. And this one did feel very good about where it landed with that, knowing that, oh my God, I want more. Having not watched it backwards, I can't say how well that works the other way. I will have to maybe consider doing that. I'll watch Satan's Pit first, and then I'll rewatch this. We'll see how that works.
For season 2 of Shooties, that's what we're going to do. We're not going to watch Doctor Who until the very end and then work backwards.
It'll ease the pain.
Yeah, I mean, that's how I've always told people to approach. I mean, not quite that literally, but how to approach Classic Who. Go backwards through the Doctors.
What if the Doctors were always out of order, though?
Which is okay. The reason I say go backwards through the Doctors in Classic is because the difference in storytelling between the 60s and now is incredible. It is culture shock. I watched people walk out of The Power of the Daleks because that was the first animated one that had a very limited film release. I saw people walk out because they were expecting the modern Doctor Who run moments. You didn't get that in the 60s. So, but if you work your way backwards, 8, 7, 6, you're going to miss a couple of through lines between them, but not that disastrously. You're eased into that. Oh, I recognize this change. Yep, that's very much the 90s. Okay, no, I remember that being the 80s. And it just starts working backwards and feeling more natural. If that makes sense.
No, that's why that's the hardest part about Doctor Who. It's kind of like, where do you be? You know, the constant question we are always getting asking, where do I start? And I always tell them Rose, because that's where the reboot came in, and you don't want to start with Unearthly Child unless you can tolerate the black and white, the wibbly wobbly sets, the and the camp, really far camp acting, because people don't realize that people back then, when they were looking for actors, they had to go to stage.
Yeah.
So when we're getting into the 60s and 70s, if you really look at the acting, it's not method. It's nothing of what we have today. They were really campy. It's just the way that it fell through, because they were used to stage acting and not the acting that we have today. Now flash forward to 2024 and it's completely different. But you have to go in with a mindset that you're looking at through a prism of their time. And if you don't appreciate what they're doing in their time, you're going to get bored, or you're just going to go, oh God, let me watch New Who instead. And it's a rough journey. I mean, like, I was a kid. Sometimes Doctor Who put me to sleep, because I was a kid. But
yeah.
Or for me is go watch a bunch of videos on YouTube, and whatever doctor or whatever era you really like, start there.
That's true.
Yeah. Very true. I mean, as most people of largely our generation, I started with PBS and Tom Baker, but also kind of not related and stick with it. So I really do like the black and white camp. So I did go back right to 1. And then I watched 1, 2, 3. Oddly enough, just out of dumb luck, basically stopped at the beginning of Tom Baker, and then got separated basically from the universe of Who out of just life. And then when I came back to it, went the other way, and I still haven't actually watched most of Tom Baker. Tom Baker is the biggest gap in my Who knowledge, weirdly enough. I was getting ready to start working on that, and then we started doing with the ClassicNu WHO stuff. So I'm like, oh, okay, well, I'll watch that instead, and I can work, because I watch it when I'm also reviewing those particular books. So when I get around to it, it's like, oh, well, okay, I guess I'll be writing about 9 now. Now I'll be working on 10 now, and all of that. But next week, probably Satan's Pit, unless something weird pops up, which certainly is possible, and that will kind of transition us into our 31 days of
It is technically the 1st of October, so that's our first big Halloween day.
Exactly. It seems like a good option for that.
Seems appropriate since it is a horror episode.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll have our Halloween, 31 days of Halloween, coming as of October 1st. I've got some fun stuff on my channel as well coming in October. Like I said, beyond just those dice openings. But why don't we wrap things up a little bit? We'll end on Christian and then me, because whatever we have going on for the show. But we'll start with Rev. Tom, what have you got going on? Where can we find you? What's the thing?
You can always find me on youtube.com/@ReverendAmagon, or just look up Tasty Cake, where I'm always doing raves, rants, reviews, this and that. Live show tomorrow at get the chalkboard out because I can't remember the date. Time 3 p.m. Let's see, 3 p.m. Eastern Daylight Standard Time, Universal Time, on YouTube, where I'll be opening a bunch of boxes and revealing so much you want to see.
And Michelle, where can we find you?
You can find me on Facebook at Michelle L. Hamilton Author, and also the TARDIS Archives.
Yay! Gadget, what about you?
YouTube, Instagram, allgadgetpendragon.com, as you see there. I was able, but it's going to be on my birthday, because they said Halloween would be a madhouse. But I did get the Nightmare Before Christmas trail walk at the New York Botanical Gardens. So I'm hoping to bring Squishy, because they gave a whole list of things they don't even want professional cameras there. So it's like, just bring your cell phone and they're trying to say, and everything and stuff. So I have that coming up. I have New York Comic Con coming up. We're going like this, fingers crossed and everything, because people are asking for the TARDIS and everything, because they're upset that there's no Doctor Who at these conventions lately and stuff here. So at least we have Squishy coming, I just wish they would do my job and tell the Satan's Pit that I work for. I need a break too, and everything. I mean, if you tell you where I work, he'll be like, yeah, this relates very well. and everything. But I'm also trying to see if I can get to the Bronx Zoo for the lights. But they thought Christmas comes before Halloween, so I'm like hesitant on that one and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent. Christian, do we have anything interesting coming up?
Yeah, just a reminder, the 31 Days of Halloween, as Dave said, is going to start October 1st, and just check out The Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. Don't forget to subscribe to both the YouTube channel and the Facebook page, because some things are going to be in and out between the two of them. And right now, if you are in a fix for your Halloween, there are pictures and videos up there for both on the Facebook and the YouTube channel. Don't forget, this Friday, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Simon Fisher-Becker, our favorite blue man, is going to be doing his Simon Says sci-fi vlog. And it's prepped and ready. I just put it up in there. It's going to be a cool episode out there. But he's going to be talking about how the world is turning, literally turning, like a continental shift and continental shelf. So definitely. Again, if you haven't checked it out and want to celebrate her birthday, Ashley Eckstein, we have a special episode just for you where we interviewed her while we were still at Wizard World for that time. And again, don't forget to subscribe here. Gadget and Mark do a great job running our website, thelegendofthetravelingtardis.com. Don't forget to go over there, check out what's going on, all the pictures and everything that we have accumulated over time.
Excellent. And of course, for me, you can always find me at TheRatHole.com. I've been doing much more video stuff just out of dumb luck over on YouTube.com/TheRatHole DOTCA. In fact, I will be back later tonight on that channel doing The Call of Cthulhu.
Oh,
this is a Choose Cthulhu solo adventure game book that is similar but legally distinct from a rather litigious book series that you may all know. But I'm doing that, and then of course, next week they actually have the next 4 books, 7 through 10, going on to Kickstarter. These from Steve Jackson Games.
Wow,
they look good.
It's gonna be a lot of fun. So that's why I'm doing that tonight in just under 2 hours. I also wanted to quickly throw up that very cool picture that I snagged at the Edmonton Expo. It's a Christmas wreath with a TARDIS. You can see
nice.
Amy and 11 down on the right and 10 on the left. She's got some amazing work, but Doctor Who stuff is almost impossible to find nowadays because you can't get the figures easily or affordably. For her to do stuff like that. She's got many other things, and I misplaced her card, unfortunately. Yeah, if you next up for me, I will be at. Did I put it into this chat? No, I did not. I'm in the process of setting things up to go to Game-A-Lot here in Edmonton, coming up. I think it's the 4th to the 6th. I think is correct. I'll be doing some streaming and some games there. So please, like I said, subscribe to my channel and hit the bell if you want to make sure you know when all of that's going to happen. Unlike some of the previous events, this one's gonna be a little bit tighter schedule than a lot of them. But I definitely have some fun stuff. There you go, Artful Roger. Yeah, like I said, I'll be coming in, showing this off in an hour and just under 45 minutes.
I actually think they should have an episode where the Doctor takes on Cthulhu.
Oh,
that would be a really cool episode. How they would explain.
I still want him to run into Krampus, which happened, I think, in the movie.
Good for that. That'd be a great Christmas episode.
He's always with Santa. I mean, we need,
Yep. There you go.
Let me get to Nico
back. Doctor and Rick Sanchez. That would be an episode.
Is Phantasmagoria coming this year to Halloween Celebration? They moved their time to November. We still haven't received a date yet, and I know this is his busiest time of year. And as they progressively get to October, it's harder to communicate with them. So we haven't picked a date yet, but he has promised me a November showing where he might, from what I understand, he might combine Halloween and Christmas. But we're still waiting for their response, Nico. But he has promised me that they will be doing a November run. And Jim says, I haven't seen I haven't seen, I believe, the 8th Doctor. He didn't stick around very long. Yeah, one episode. It's kind of a question. Who has the
conventions.
I'm curious who has the longer whose lineage has the longer episode. Is it the 8th Doctor or War Doctor? He didn't stick around very long. The classic Doctors go from 1 through 7, then the modern Doctor goes from 9 to 13. Well, if you really want to do a deep dive, Big Finish has got tons of his stuff.
Yes,
that would be the best place to go, and his stories are just phenomenal. Especially now that he's leading up. I won't go into it too much with spoilers because we already know, but the lead up to the Time War and how things play out there. So that is the best place to go. All righty. Well, thank you all for joining us. See you next week. I'm not going to say what we're doing. I have no idea yet. It may be the same bit review. I know one of you was saying Love and Monsters. We're going to push that a little bit, possibly after October. Definitely in November, we'll try to do this. The Love and Monsters.
You mean Fear Her?
So, is it Fear or Love and Monsters? I think it's Love and Monsters.
Is it?
I am 99% sure. No, Love and Monsters was. It's Love and Monsters after the Impossible Planet.
I like Love and Monsters more than Fear Her. Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. What's this?
Oh!
Hi, Astrid. Astrid. Astrid's
say hi to Rose.
Hi, Rose.
Hi, Rose.
So yes, there we go. So that is what I have to go do is go take this little potato dog out for a walk.
Got it.
At least you're not in Ohio. That's a good thing.
You got it. Oh. All right. Well, Dave, tell Tony what he needs to do. Thanks for watching, everybody. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. This takes way too damn long.
It really does.
Comment if you haven't, if you're just joining us, or if you're seeing this after the debut, and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you all, 32,600 of you crazy. Thank you for just thinking for a brief moment that hitting the subscribe button was a good idea at the time. So thank you, and don't forget
to stick around.
It gets wackier and wackier.
So Dave, tell Tony, and I'll go ahead and then tell good night.
All right. Well, like, as he said, come back next week, become part of the legend. Take us out, Tony.
All right. Don't forget to say good night, Rose.
Good night, Rose.
Poor dear.